Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's me, Jeremy Alexander Newsom with reallifetrading.com. Hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. It is Wednesday, the 20th of December. Really quick, we'll just look over some of these stocks. The SPY, not doing much right now. It's still 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern, so everything I say is subject to change due to volatility. White candle gapping up, retest gap, or retesting. That's really not shocking. We get that by now, at least I hope you do. Here's the IWM, and the IWM, it's up a little bit right now, 0.5% from the close of yesterday at least. Also a retest gap, also retesting, and there's a few traders getting some bull put spreads down here for the January, late December, mid-January, early February time frame on the Russell 2000 ETF. And of course the Qs, not too much to see here, retesting a retest gap, got some good lower shadows, all looks nice. Sent out a webinar just yesterday sent out an email about a webinar just yesterday, December 29th, which is next Friday, 1 Eastern, noon Central, and mostly I'm just going to be covering with you fine folks what's going to be happening in 2018 as it regards to real life trading, making some cool announcements, and of course, reviewing some stocks that you guys want to review, talking about which stocks I think will be most bullish for 2018, looking at some sectors, looking at some markets, answering your questions. Be there or be a triangle. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be entirely free. Let's go over to Intel, ticker symbol INTC, and shout outs to the few traders who were able to snag a delicioso double bottom off of this 50 EMA. Now, I know this is a retest gap, but again, just to kind of cover, to make sure we're all comfortable, when I say it's something retest, right, and you say, Jeremy, I don't know if it's going to bounce there, go back to that back trading webinar and just, if you're uncomfortable right there, when that stock retests and pulls into the 50, you've got to take that trade. You buy there, you set your stop in the gap, maybe you're wrong, right? Maybe you lose a little bit of money, that's okay. Or maybe this happens on Intel. Now I know that there wasn't any analysis or anything posted ahead of time that was saying, oh, what a beautiful move on Intel, it'll probably pull back and look to buy the dip. I know that that was just a giant mystery, and of course, I'm trying to be sarcastic, I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to pull up my Intel chart that I posted just about 2 weeks ago, and then posted a follow-up chart on that, and then posted another chart. So if you didn't get a chance to snag some Intel action, hey, it's okay. There's always another opportunity, but it's a good chart to stare at and practice that back trading where you can go, okay, I see the pullback. Let me practice getting into this at this particular time. So here it was back on November 29th. I was mentioning short-term wave count on Intel. And again, if you have any questions about waves, I do have a free video on Elliott Waves. If you need me to send it to you, just let me know, but it's on the website, on the YouTube channel. But it was a very obvious, in my opinion, wave 3, and that's exactly what I mentioned down here. Presently a longer term, buy the dip, and maybe shorter term as well. So here's my wave structure, and pretty much just explaining that expect a pullback and expect that dip. Obviously, I didn't get it to the exact price or the exact day. I mean, I got pretty close. It wasn't too bad, but that's just the analysis. 6 or 7 days after that, I said it's still looking like a wave 4. Right into the 50, and then here's another updated chart when it's there at the 50, kind of just explaining that it's bouncing. So anyway, Intel, nice move, high fives all around to those who got a chance to try it. Alibaba, today up a little bit right now. If you look at this hourly chart, I think Alibaba is working on a little bit of a bounce. So let me just hide all the drawings here for a second. This is the hourly time frame, and check this out. We may or may not have been down in this particular area before and bounced. If I turn on the extended hours, you can see that really clearly. So here's the extended hours, and I just have to drop this line a little bit, and there it is. So these are the extended hours, and you can see really nicely the little support in there. So detailing and noticing that yesterday, posted the bull put spread analysis on Alibaba for January. Let me turn the drawings back on. 157.50, 155. If Baba can close above 175.05, specifically if it happens sometime soon, that would be really nice. Today is an inside day candle on Baba, keeping a real close eye for a breakout of this pattern, either bearish, which is fine, or bullish, which would be better. And that's really all I can see on Baba at this particular moment in time. Here is ticker symbol TRV, and TRV, which is the Travelers, I believe, We go over here to the weekly chart because the Travelers really has already retested. Here's a all-time high, right? This was a phenomenal dip buying opportunity. I mean, that is the hammer of Thor right there. And once it broke higher, dip buying opportunity, right? Right into the old resistance, new support. Nothing too crazy. You can look at the previous history of this stock and see that it's a very choppy stock. It's a very quick dip, quick run, quick dip, quick run, quick dip, quick run, quick dip, quick run, quick dip, quick run. You know, if it dips again, I would say buy it. If you're still in bullish, looks like a good hold. Trend is your friend. AMD. A lot of traders in advanced micro devices. I gotta give a shout out to my good buddy John Simcoe, who noticed this particular setup on the monthly time frame. So this was a 200 simple moving average on the monthly chart, which is this red line right here. So that's a 200 simple, which is a little bit of a bonus. I actually did not see that, but it's there. Here's the daily chart. I had another trader saying, hey, Jeremy, what's the signal to know when to get in on AMD? And again, folks, just keep in mind, it's all about that price, right? We have bounced before, so that's once, twice. Those are the signals. The fact that we're down here, the fact that it's a buy low, sell high, the fact that it's out of support, that's when you get in bullish. And if you needed a candle to tell you specifically when to get in, I did mention to a few traders, let's at least get a close above some of these wicks. That was the day right there on the 15th. Now, I didn't know it was going to gap up. That's obviously a little bit lucky, but there are a few traders in on this one. If you come back over here to the weekly chart, here's the long term. On the weekly, the 100 simple moving average is down here. So if you did buy around that blue line, the stop down here, even that pretty conservative setup, you have a lot of risk reward on AMD. I don't think we're going to necessarily just bounce right off of here and go to the moon. I don't think it's going to be that easy. This is a retest gap on the weekly, so we'll probably retest a little bit more, maybe even double bottom. But this could be a trade you might have to hold 3 or 4 months, but their ROI is magnificent if it can really get up there. IBM, I don't really see what IBM is doing right now. I can't figure it out. 100 simple on a weekly is acting as a resistance. 200 simple on a daily is acting as a resistance. So I would say if it can close above these levels and at least get another try to close above this particular 154.27, if it can do that, I would be a little bit more bullish than bearish, but barely. Again, here's the monthly time frame. The reason I'm looking at it is I'm trying to find any reason to just do something on IBM, and it's still kind of just neutral to me. I don't see a phenomenal setup. So don't have me trade on IBM right now. Short term, long term, really, really long term. It's just very flat. I don't see much movement. LFIN, this is a new IPO for you to keep your eyes on. It has had some really outrageous moves in the last 4 to 5 days. This is a wild one. Also, white candle gapping up. It's a retest gap. If you come in here to the hourly chart, you'll notice that it is pulling back and it is getting some dip buying opportunities. So if you turn off the extended hours, let's do that really quick. So there's the extended hours. It might pull into the 20 again and potentially bounce. You're at least welcome to watch it. And or if it pulls into the 50 and potentially bounces, you're welcome to watch that. A lot of people don't like trading IPOs. I personally love it. As soon as they open, I don't trade them before market open, even though it's usually a little bit of a bullish thing. There's a lot of reasoning and rationale for that. It's not as easy as most people make it out to be. But after it opens, it's just pure candles, and I like that. That's all I use anyway, and that's all I really need. Shout out to my good buddy up there in Chicago, Nikhil, on NAV. This is the easiest retest gap in a long time that I saw. Also, I want to give a shout out to my good buddy Adriano in Brazil, who called this one and said it was going to probably fade. So it's just a really nice white candle, right? White candle gapping up before earnings. I'm sorry, not before earnings. It gapped up on earnings. It's gapped up to a pretty decent resistance. Here's the weekly chart on Navstar International. And this thing has been moving. So it traded, you'll see, right to a really rock solid resistance right about there. It is an earnings gap. At this particular point, you got this old resistance, new support there. We've already got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we've already made the wave 5, potentially. So at this point, just keep an eye on NAV to probably start forming a little bit of a distribution phase. Doesn't have to, but in this overall setup, it just looks a little bit more bullish to bearish, but kind of neutral with most of your support coming off of this $39 to $40 price range. And last but not least for today, Netflix. Here's the weekly chart on Netflix, and we're just hanging on the 20 EMA as it stands. The lows of these two candles. Technically, this is an inside week still. We have 2 days left. Dean has a put sale. A little bit of a lower shadow today. The 100 just kind of slowly acting as a little bit of a support for Netflix. So again, Netflix right now, most of my traders in the trading room are bullish to neutral with put sales, bull put spreads, longer term calls, and selling some calls against them, some shares and doing covered calls. However you're playing it on Netflix, for right now, bullish to neutral. And if it does get a good bounce, I think we'll be prepared and ready. And before we depart, let's make sure we hop over to NVIDIA, NVDA. And NVIDIA, I got about 417 requests for this one, which is nice. Gorgeous, very easy to spot. 9 out of 10. Amazing, flawless, stupendous, superfluous. Morning star reversal on NVIDIA off of the 100 simple moving average. You could have bought it there with that trigger, or just somebody bought it off the 100 simple, because we can see literally with our eyes that it has bounced off there before and traded back down. So if we trade back down, that's how double bottoms are formed, are people literally getting in before that neckline. Now, this being the case, we did retest the neckline of this double bottom today, and it could happen again tomorrow. But if we hang out and continue to create this pennant pattern as we're doing on NVIDIA, if you're not already in on the pullback, I love this decline in volume. If it keeps trading sideways and then pops higher, especially with Micron doing its thing, what it did today, then yeah, I could easily see and make a case for NVIDIA to continue going in a bullish trend. Here's the exponential moving averages, and you're all above the EMAs on the daily, the weekly. We may or may not have bounced off that 20 EMA before at one point in the past. So overall on NVIDIA, it looks good, and I would just say if you're looking at playing it bullish, that makes sense to me. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Next stock review will be in Panama City. Flying down tonight after the real-life traders here in Nashville get together for a nice little Christmas dinner. We're doing that tonight. I fly out 2 nights to Panama City. And then, of course, Christmas is here. You guys rock. Thank you for being real-life traders. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions or requests, post them below. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.